Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is IRYANI and today my group will be presenting the issues and challenges faced by Ar Rahnu exchange by Bank Rakyat in Malaysia. My group consists of me, IRYANI, Nurul, SOFEA and Nurul Syafiqah. So what is Ar Rahnu? Ar Rahnu is a term for an Islamic pawnbroking which acts as a short-term financing for those who gives out their collateral item in exchange for cash or some kind of fund, or it can also be called as a small loan. The institutions that offers Ar Rahnu scheme or Ar Rahnu are Bank Rakyat, Bank Islam, Agrobank, Yapim and more. Ar Rahnu Exchange is a franchise of Bank Rakyat since December 2006. They offers three kinds of schemes, which are Ar Rahnu, Azahab and Azahab Premium.
Assalamualaikum and Hi, my name is SOFEA BINTI. I'll be explaining about the issues of the Ar Rahnu. Firstly is the lack of understanding the concept of Ar Rahnu. There are still a lot of people who do not understand the role and the impact of the organizations in the society. Customers consider that the compliance requirements from Sharia is not that important and does not help in preventing them from earning money such as an instant cash from a conventional pawn shop, and customers who uses this service also just want a loan without knowing the basic principles about the differences between the Islamic pawn shops and also the conventional pawn shops. The mortgage system is also a very popular system among the low-income group who needed money, and this shows and proof about how the society is lacking in emphasizing the importance of Sharia compliance service. The next issue is service, which differs from the physical things in that is not a tangible object that can be sensed or touched. And this, in a way, in the conventional pawn shops, customer service is extremely crucial, and the pawn shop should provide a fast and easy options to scrounge money. So when compared to the Ar Rahnu conventional pawn shops are more convenient, and due to the low worth-creditness and denials from regular lenders, people are turning to conventional pawn shops on their loan applications, and the services of the Ar Rahnu must keep track about the customers' informations. Customers need to be treated fairly and conventionally regardless of their status, and in order to increase the customer service, it is critical to emphasize it. So aside from the issues about the Sharia, customer service was also found to be one of the highly connected to the acceptability of the issues in Ar Rahnu. Furthermore is the issues of pricing. So when compared to the conventional pawn shops, Ar Rahnu service fee is rather modest. A brokerage system that demands a 2% of interest rate. So Ar Rahnu charges adds to a reduced loan cost and helps to cut the cost of customers' burden. So this results to that acquiring the cash through MGIT is less expensive than going to a traditional pawn shop. So the pawn object was assessed a percentage of two fees, and this results that the demonstrated it is very critical for the Ar Rahnu store to provide a very competitive price that represents the market average. So in the market, there is a structure price. So however, the biggest issues with adopting the Islamic base is the pawn shops pricing.
So one of the issues that is faced by Ar Rahnu Exchange Bank Rakyat is regarding the gold and jewelry. So the problem here is all pawn items requires to have a value, whereby in that term only then the institutions are able to exchange them for a sum of money or some kind of loan or short fund. The problem lies whereby in Ar Rahnu Exchange Bank Rakyat, they only accepts gold, whereas in a conventional pawn shops, they also accept establishment materials such as Rolex and Birkin, which also have a price, which also have a value, and it can be termed as gold as well because the value keeps on increasing. The problem here is because Bank Rakyat doesn't accept establishment materials, so it causes problems to those who are really in need of the fund, but they do not have any types of gold, but maybe they do have Birkins or Rolex. So this creates as an issue for the bank.
Moving on in the issues of law, Ar Rahnu did not have any specific rules about the operations because most of the institutions offer the service of Ar Rahnu. They need to follow the act that relates to them. So these diversities of governance provides variety effects, and sometimes it complicates the coordinations and regulations of the act in Ar Rahnu in Malaysia. So Ar Rahnu is bound by the principle of fiqh, and based on that, the observation made from the present practice of law drafters, they still apply the principle of fiqh mentioned as a referred in the terms of the contract. This situation can cause misunderstanding and leading to the assumption that the contract is valid and is different from Ar Rahnu rather than the contract of Ar Rahnu itself. So, for example, when the concept of al-qard is more frequently repeated and used in the terms of the contract, will be an assumption that the contract is a contract of al-qard and it's not a contract of Ar Rahnu. So, by disputing these both parties that are involving, and the contract is most likely can be the issue of invalidate the existence of the Ar Rahnu. Moving on to monitoring and auditing, so this includes licensing activities such as auctions, receiving yearly reports, enforcement and handling any of complaints which are a part of the license process. So such institutions are solely responsible for ensuring that they comply with the law, are operating in accordance of the Sharia. So currently there is still no Sharia oversight panel that can be referred in Islamic matters at the KPKT level Sharia compliance. So for now, Sharia compliance has not yet to be taken seriously by the legal stipulations at the KPKT level. In fact, they have no rules or even guidelines that could open space for the KPKT or any institutions of Ar Rahnu to make any direct or indirect reference to the Sharia advisory body at the Bank Negara Malaysia. So there are no defined operational rules set, so they can appoint any qualified Sharia advisors that license and ensuring what they are doing or what the activities that they carry out is a legal and ethical manner required by the Sharia.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Syafiqah binti NASARUDDIN, and today I want to explain about Bank Negara Malaysia. Bank Negara Malaysia has established Sharia Advisory Council, concluded that Ar Rahnu produce structures supplied by Islamic financial institution. The issue here is of qard harana fund, which is a loan that benefit the lender, and a ba'i was salaf, which is combination of sales contract with the loan, arise from the interconditionality and interdependency between loan contract and elements of pledge, safekeeping and fee. For example, the loan will only be granted if buyer agree to store their gold with an Islamic financial institution for fee. Okay, now let's move to challenges that Ar Rahnu facing, which is infrastructure development. To make Ar Rahnu institution of the Ar Rahnu as the #1 choice for the Malaysian citizen based on the plan and strategy that needs to be implemented by Institution Malaysia. Infrastructure development needs to give support towards all of the institutions that offer Ar Rahnu in order to expand the development of Ar Rahnu. Most of the people do not know about the Ar Rahnu system and how it actually could help most of the people that require or need money instead borrowing it from the illegal side that we know as ahlong.
The next challenge is one of the most popular challenge, which is the gold counterfeiting and the gold testing technology. So this has been talked about a lot, and if this challenge is not handled properly, not only the industry of the Ar Rahnu will be affected, but it also will affect the dumping of the fake gold in Malaysia. So this challenge of counterfeiting the authenticity of this gold will be further complicated by the absence of the sophisticated technology. And among the most common cases is this gold counterfeiting involving gold plating, external, or also called by the lead gold. So lead is a form of liquid that resembles gold and has been used widely in order to increase the weight of the gold, which also made it hard to be detected. and the Ar Rahnu industry even finds it to be at a risk to handle, as the gold taxing technology requires skills and also integrity.
So we move on to the next challenges that is faced by Ar Rahnu exchange, and it involves a high skilled and integrated workforce. So as we all know, gold is such high value items. Therefore, doing Ar Rahnu itself involves great risk. It's due to dealing with high value items such as gold, diamonds, or jewelries. They are very fragile. Therefore, in order to work with them, it requires a high level of skill, also experience to handle with it. So the major concern of Ar Rahnu exchange is lack of manpower, as we all know that they now have lots of branches, so they will need to have a lot of skilled manpower in order to work with the goal, given the goal as cultural item. So it won't slow down the process. And another aspect that concerns them is malpractice. Malpractice can happen on a lot of levels, but especially on the entry level. This is due to a direct handling with the gold itself. So a lot of things can happen there. So the suggestion to improve this is Bank Rakyat should create a training center for their workers that will be handling the gold, in order for them to have a skilled and highly integrated workers. Therefore, there won't be any problems of lack of manpower and also malpractice. So we move on to the challenges faced by Ar Rahnu exchange, and one of them happens to be a high takaful charges. So what is takaful charges? Takaful charges acts as an insurance on the marhun under the concept of yad damanah. How this causes problems is because it burdens the loan receiver even more, because they are required to pay an extra amount, which can be quite high depending on the institution itself, for their collateral item, in order for it to be maintained the same as how it was given in the first place. And another thing with this is that with the takaful charges, some of the institutions are taking an advantage whereby to increase the amount of the amount charged to the customer more than they are supposed to.
Okay, so next we move to the instability of the price gold in the market. The instability of price gold in the market is one of the challenges in Ar Rahnu. The volatility of gold price in the market will have implications for activity, mortgage, and auctions. This is because the instability of the price of gold in the market contribute to redemptions, default factors, and difficulty in auction, especially when the gold prices arise. Next, working capital. Working capital is adequate to generate Ar Rahnu activities is essential for providing cash lending services to customers, including accommodating overhead or high operating expenses. This issue of capital insufficiency is often faced by small and medium-sized industries such as stand-alone cooperative without funding sources from headquarters and companies under the state network. For future specialists, it is recommended that more variables to be incorporated, and a model is to be produced to precisely anticipate the client expectation to utilize Ar Rahnu. In order to improve the issue and challenges of Ar Rahnu, there are some recommendations that can be taken in order to develop the Ar Rahnu in Malaysia. For high takaful, it suggests that the industry chooses takaful charges on marhun in groups. This is important to ensure all items collateral is given full protection. Through this method, the high cost of takaful can be reduced. However, For instability price gold in market, they need to improve the marketing strategy and conduct gold auction with a gold wholesaler. How about skill and integrity workforce? It suggests planning more strategies for this objective. Among the strategies that can be taken is to provide special provisions for the workforce to follow training and courses from aspect skills and spiritually in an organized manner. Last but not least, gold counterfeiting. Ar Rahnu service providers shall provide the latest gold testing and evaluation methods such as X-ray fluorescence for facilitating the detection of counterfeit gold. At the same time, the industry needs to follow suit the development of counterfeit gold types that are in the market, especially gold brought from foreign countries. Lastly, I want to explain about conclusion. As a result, a new act or regulation from the regulator is required to standardize the functioning of Ar Rahnu in Malaysia. In Malaysia, the existing Ar Rahnu aims to prevent Muslims from receiving funds from unlawful lenders such as loan sharks. To verify the validity of Ar Rahnu operations in compliance with the Sharia principle, Ar Rahnu operators should have their own internal Sharia legal advisor. The demand for Islamic pawnbroking services has been steadily expanding since its inception. The government should encourage people in desperate need of cash to turn to Islamic pawnbrokers rather than illegal money lenders, which is ahlongs, who charge excessive interest rate and have unjust collection tactics. So that's all from me.